Let's have a music lesson real quick, just for a few seconds. There's 7 notes in music: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then the A repeats. Anyway, there's 7 notes. There's 7 days in the week. And in a similar way, as the musical notes repeat themselves in a cycle, the days also do, the numbering of the days. Now, the ISO over in Geneva, Switzerland, in some of my other videos, I've mentioned it in a couple of them, they're trying to change the order of the days. So if I ask this artificial intelligence device what day of the week it is, and the number, she's going to get it wrong because she's following the ISO's new program. And I'll check it right here real quick. Alexa, what is the 7th day of the week?
The 7th day of the week by weekday number is Sunday.
Hello, that's actually the 1st day of the week. But the programming that has gone into place recently is, it's just craziness. We all know in Australia and Canada and the United States and England what the 7th day of the week is. It's the 7th day of the week. In Scripture, it describes it. Nothing's changed since Yahusha walked the earth, and even before that, he came into being, appearing among us as a man, walking amid his own people, and they knew when the 7th day of the week was, and they were accusing him of violating it. That's interesting, isn't it? Well, how evolution overcame the world is the title of this video. And we're going to just run through some things real quick. There's a lot of approaches you could take. I prefer to take the perspective of Yahusha. In Yirmiyahu, or they call him Jeremiah, chapter 8, verses 7 through 9, quote, "Even a stork in the Shamayim, or the skies, knows her appointed times, and a thrush, and a turtle dove, and a swallow observe the time of their coming. But my people do not know the lawfulness of Yahuwah." That word lawfulness is the decisions of Yahuwah, the instruction in how he decided things. They don't know it. How do you say we are wise and the Torah of Yahuwah is with us? But look, the malicious pen of the scribe has worked falsehood. The wise shall be put to shame, and they shall be broken down and caught. See, they have rejected the word of Yahuwah. So what wisdom do they have? Unquote. Now, because the first week of the 7 days at creation is not carefully taught by pastors, throughout the ages, they've dropped that. They don't teach it. I went to the Answers in Genesis Museum years and years ago, and I went into the observatory there, or whatever it was, and we sat down and watched it, and they went through day 1, day 2, day 3 of creation, and they got up to day 6, and then the film snapped off. But what happened to the 7th day? It's gone. They didn't even mention it, because the first 7 days at creation are not taught. Evolutionary thinking has become a serious stronghold. People don't know who they are to obey and the instructions we are to follow. The traditions of the thousands of teaching authorities have replaced obedience to Yahuwah's instructions. Day 7 is the day we rest as Yahuwah rested. The ones that carefully follow his pattern, ones that are wise. That's why they can't figure out the mark of the beast. It's a riddle. They don't know what it means because they're looking for something else. You don't buy and sell on the 7th day. But they don't have the wisdom. They don't know it. That's why they can't calculate the number of the beast. Anyway, the mark of the beast is what that refers to. Now, Yahusha said he is the master of the Shabbat, the seventh day. Leviticus, or Uikra, it's the real name of the book. And he called. That's what it means. Yakara means called. And they named it Leviticus. Anyway, in chapter 23, the first part of the chapter opens up with the appointed times of Yahuwah. You can go to it now if you want to and stop this and go read it, or read it while you're listening, and listen to this again after you've read it thoroughly. Leviticus, or Uikra 23, begins explaining that Yahuwah's first appointed time is the seventh day of each week. Now let that sink in. It's the seventh day of each week. In other words, the week is what is the unseen pattern of numbers that is going through time. It's not in the sky. The week is not in the heavens. It's a pattern of 7 repeating days. Day 1 starts over immediately after the first 7th day appeared. And then there was another 7 days. Just like there are notes. And anyway, the month is not involved in this first appointed time. How could that be? The moon, which the word month refers to, is actually not the word used. It's Yerek is the word moon, but the word month is the whole period. You know, it's Kodesh with a K, not a Q. And the word Kodesh means the month, the span of time that we call a month. You know, like a Native American will say, "It's been many moons since we have seen you." You know, the whole span, you know. It's not like, hey, we're looking for new moons. No, we're not looking for crescents. We're not looking for that. We're looking for the span of the beginning to the end of the month until a new month starts. That's the word Kodesh with a K. Kodesh. Just Google that. The word Kodesh with a Q, it means set apart. It's a completely different word, completely different letters. It sounds the same. It's a homonym. So don't get confused. Anyway, the first appointed time is the 7th day of each week. Now, in chapter 23 of Leviticus, Yahuwah starts over again and says, "And these are my appointed times." He's starting over again, and he begins with the month. You know, in the first month of the year. And Exodus 12, verse 2, says that this is the beginning of the year to you, the beginning of months to you, each year, the annual beginning, so that you'll know the pattern for observing Passover, first fruits, unleavened bread, Shavuot, or they call it Pentecost, and so on. In the 7th month, there's more. So these are not the Roman calendar. These are Yahuwah's months. And but the moon is not involved in the first appointed time, the weekly Sabbath. It's not there. Then he begins these other appointed times that we're to observe that are annual, and he uses the first month. This is described in Exodus, or Shemoth, 12, verse 2, as the beginning of months. Quote, beginning of months, unquote. Matith Yahu, or Matthew, 24:32, is referring to the period of the last days. And Yahusha refers to the beginning of the year. And that would be Exodus 12:2. The first month is the beginning of months. Exodus 12, verse 2. As the first month of the year. And how to recognize the seasonal pattern reflected in Yahusha's redemption plan. redemption plan. That's what the other appointed times are for. They're shadows of things to come. Things for the body of Mashiach. Now, why would Yahusha refer to the recognizing the seasonal pattern in the last days? Because that's how we know when he's coming. And it helps reflect the seasonal pattern of his return. So watch other videos of mine and you'll pick up little pieces of this everywhere. Baruch haba b'shem Yahuwah. Blessed is the one coming in the name of Yahusha, or Yahuwah. It's the same person. Thanks for watching. And I only do this because I love you. I'm not trying to confuse you. We'll see you in the next exciting video. Bye.